Hey fam, my name is Faith. I'm born again. I love the Lord. I'm loving it here at Rock West. It's my first time, but I'm not a guest in the house of the Lord. I have a testimony to share. Last year, back in January, I got into an accident. I was rushed to hospital. I found myself in the ICU. I had broken my collarbone, this right here, my right side. When I got out of hospital, I lost my voice. And this was now in Feb. I completely lost my voice, and I do sing. I am a singer, and you can imagine how that was hard for me. I was going through a tough season. It was from Feb to August last year. You can imagine going to work, but the good thing is I am a software engineer. I don't have to speak to a lot of people. So most of the time I'm behind my laptop. So that helped a bit, but to be honest, it was really hard. So I moved from hospital to hospital trying to get medication. And most of these doctors used to tell me, when we look through the scans and everything, your voice box is swollen and the airway is a bit small, and that means that at some point you will lose, it will be too swollen for you to even breathe. So they kept on telling me, you need to go for surgery so that they can remove the swelling, so that I'll be able to now speak by myself. But I didn't want to go through the whole process of now going back to hospital, undergoing another surgery operation. I didn't want. So I kept on believing that God will eventually heal me. And this is Feb to August. You're trusting God that one day I'm going to speak and I'm going to talk again. So what I decided to move from hospital to hospital because I didn't want to trust all of them. So I changed hospitals, but everyone said the same thing. You need to undergo surgery. I remember what they were giving me was just medication to just help me control whatever was causing the swelling, or to just control the whole situation. And sometimes my voice could come back, but it will be a bit low, so I could communicate a bit, but then it was still hard because I used to feel some pain from like around my neck anytime I used to speak, and I couldn't laugh. I remember the last hospital that I went to, this doctor was really good. The last time he told me, when you come back here and you will not have improved, we're going to put a pipe to help you breathe. And I remember after 2 weeks, I was to undergo the same process to check how swollen I was. So I went to the reception and they told me that I had depleted my insurance cover. So that means that I couldn't be seen by the doctor. So I went to the doctor. I told him I have depleted my insurance cover. So they had told me to add like 20,000 to be seen. But then I didn't have that money at the moment. So I just went out and he asked me, what are you going to do? I told him, let me go home and check how the swelling is. And if it won't have subsided, then I'll come back to the hospital. So I went outside the hospital and I stood there and I told God, this insurance cover is over. So that means that I cannot go to see any other doctor. And this meant one thing for me. And I told God, now you are my physician. I am coming to your hospital. I am done with the earthly hospitals. I do not dispute that doctors are used by God to heal. But I told him, now I have exhausted everything. I've come to you. You are my physician. You are my doctor. And right now, I have no insurance apart from you. And so I went home and I knew one thing. They had told me if I stay without the medication, or rather what was helping me to reduce the swelling, it would have been hard. And it would mean that my airway would close eventually. So I went and I sat and I told God, Lord, now I'm waiting on you. Whatever happens, I am just waiting on you. But one thing I kept on saying, God, you couldn't have given me victory out of ICU for you to come and leave me right now. Because if you're healing me completely. And I knew that it's a process, and if God has said that I'm going to get healed, this does not matter. And so I waited. And this was this was in June. And I started waiting on God, and at some point I just said, I'm not going to take any medicine, I'm not going to take any painkillers, and I stopped. And now I waited on God. And come August, my voice opened up. I cannot tell you how. I cannot explain how it happened, because now when I was talking to the doctors who told me that the only solution was for me to get an operation, they kept on asking, if I went for that operation. And they kept on asking me, are you still okay? How come you're still talking right now without an operation? And guess what? I am here. I can laugh again. I can sing again. And the Lord restored my voice. And so I'm just encouraging any one of you who has been praying, trusting God for healing, or trusting God for something, and maybe you've been praying and wondering, when is God going to come? I waited from Feb to August, and God finally came. So one thing I know is that God will always come through.